Yeah, I do music stuff now. That's nice. Anyways, what we're gonna be doing today is we are going to be reviewing, I think, the third Kendrick Lamar album. I'll put a correction on the screen if I'm wrong. And yeah, it's released from 2017. You know what it is. Let's get into it. So yeah, let's go in and I guess do this review. So the interesting thing about this album is how bipolar it really is, because it switches constantly from what it's trying to do and what it's trying to stand for, and it's so inconsistent with what it's trying to say that it's interesting. It never gets boring. I always was constantly listening and re-listened to these songs, some of these songs really constantly, because they just clicked with me. And I think that's what's interesting about this, is a lot of these songs are really re-listenable, but yeah, then again, some of them aren't very re-listenable, like Yeah, which is a song where Kendrick had clearly didn't have the best vocals, and it feels like he just got up at 3 a.m. in the morning and recorded this record. That's not even me being harsh. It sounds like he either like plugged his nose or he has the flu or something along those lines. It doesn't sound good. And yet, look, at the beginning, the first couple of songs that are like slower, they're not that great because Kendrick's voice just doesn't work at all, to be honest. And this definitely does happen in other ones, such as Love, which is like the 10th track, which I do think, I don't know what the guy's name is, Lardley, I don't know how to pronounce, but he's not that bad actually on the track. He's pretty good actually. I mean, his voice is, I don't like the lyrics, but I think he has a nice voice. But the thing is that Kendrick really wrecked it, which is shocking because this is his album. You think the Future would wreck it, but he wrecked it because of his voice wasn't that great, and it's really just two choruses that play throughout the entire thing. It's not really, it's very filler. It didn't need to be in there at all. But I guess it was enjoyable enough. But I will say that the lyrics, of course, are great. I mean, for the most part, and some of them they're just not that great. But they're really weird and don't make any sense. But most of the lyrics are great, especially like when you get to DNA, where he's going as hard as he can. I mean, it's just great. He's just great at making these really great rap lyrics that just work so well, that play off each other well, and he's got phenomenal wordplay. What do you want me to say there? And the thing is, with his lyrics, is what he's trying to say in the messages. And the thing is, he's one of those rappers that isn't afraid to talk about violence or racism or any of these type of deep things that people of his race have had to deal with. And he also explores religion and such. And just, I don't know, he explores them in an interesting way. I mean, I know these topics have been explored in other albums before. I know none of this is new. But I don't know, they were just explored uniquely throughout this track, and I think that has to do with how bipolar and inconsistent this whole album is. I just really enjoyed that overall, and I don't know, I just thought it was just very well done. And the thing is, once we go into God, which is basically kind of undefining everything that this track was about, it was the second last one, and it just kind of redefines everything. It says, I mean, some of the notes that I have down here are the fact that he's saying, is this what it's like to be God and stuff? And in the second to last one, he's talked about how he feels like he can't be like God because of his DNA. At least that's what I've heard, and I guess I could kind of agree with that as well. I mean, looking at that, that was a nice play of how to do things. And I mean, the last one where he talks about his father's, about the stuff that happened with his father and how it caused this, and he does this whole, I guess, kind of Christopher Nolan thing is the best way to say it, where they go like back in time, I guess, like I don't really. So like what they do is, they go to at the end of the album, and then they go back, and then what they do is they kind of like, I guess what the album starts with opening, and then it kind of goes to cause what happened to that. And then it goes all the way back, and then goes to the beginning of the first song of the entire album, which I don't know, I find that really interesting. I think it really does work in that, and I don't know, this album just, it has a lot of things like that where it's just unique, and it's I definitely need to see more Kendrick Lamar stuff. I know To Pimp a Butterfly is, I've heard that's like his best, or Good Kid, Mad City. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I know this is like his most recent one, so maybe this wasn't the best way to start his stuff. But yeah, I did really think this was really interesting, and it tackled really deep themes in an interesting way that I thought worked. He talks about, it says that nobody's praying for him, and that no one is praying for him as a person, and I don't know, it's just, it takes that idea, and then he gets a voicemail I don't know. I think it's Fear, actually. I think it's at the beginning of Fear. He gets this voicemail, and it says that he is just a human being, and I think that's really great that they do that. And it seems like, and it feels like he's lost his faith in humanity in that song, and how he feels like, and he lists all the possible ways he could die. It's probably the most depressing song in the entire album. And I will say that this album isn't for everybody. I don't think everyone's gonna really like it as much as I did. It's definitely one that is for a specific group of audience, but its inconsistency for the most part does work. Sometimes it gets a little bit annoying of how much it redefines things, and it just comes off as messy. But I think with it overall, it's a pretty good album. I mean, I think that's the best way I could summarize it. I had all the notes down for all the songs, and I guess that's how I'm gonna do these now. I think it's hard to say, because with some of the songs I really won't listen to again, because how nasally his voice is, and just how the lack of stuff that I liked in it. I think I'm gonna go with a really strong 8 out of 10 on this. I think I'll go with 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'll go with an 8 out of 10. So yeah, guys, that is the review. I'm going to be doing more of these. Make sure to go on my Discord and my Letterboxd where I review movies. I might get Music Board. If I ever get Music Board, I will let you guys know, and that'll also be linked in the description with my other social medias. And yeah, I actually am doing a poll on my Discord server as this is recording of 4 albums that I'm considering of reviewing after this. One of them is a Taylor Swift album that my friend recommended me. Actually, 2. I'll pick one of those 2. I don't know why, but that my friend said it was great, so I added it. Pink Floyd, The Wall, their Wall album, Jay-Z's Black album, I think, yeah, it's called Black Album, and Eminem Show. So those are going to be on there. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.